Hey guys, welcome back to my small engine repair channel. Today I'm going to show you how to replace the pull cord on your snowblower with a Tecumseh engine like this one over here. Even though I'm doing it on a Tecumseh engine, the same principle will apply to all snowblowers out there with just a few subtle differences. So what I've done is tilted it up like this. It's sitting on a jack stand here. It just makes it easier to access the recoil. There's 4 nuts here that need to be removed. And on most Tecumseh engines, it will be 3/8 nuts that you need to remove. So I'll be removing them with my impact, but I will be putting them back on with a ratchet and socket. Now the recoil will just come right off. Now the reason I'm replacing the pull cord on this one is, first of all, it's too big and sometimes it doesn't go back in all the way like it should. And the cord is a bit short, so when I'm pulling, I can feeling it come right to the end and it jerks the inside parts of the recoil, which is not good for them. So what I'll be showing you right now is the correct size of rope to use and the correct length. So if the spring is still good in your recoil like this one, just pull it right to the end. And then what I do is I lock it up with a screwdriver, just like that. And then what you want to do is pull the end of the rope out. Actually, I'm just going to snip it right here. So now I've got the rope out, the spring is fully loaded, and now what I can do is just put in the rope here, the new rope, and just let it wind itself back in. But first of all, I want to show you a trick here, because if your cord is not going in all the way after you put it in, you're going to have to load up the spring again. And that's why I want to show you how to make a little notch here so that you could put the rope in if that happens. So what I'm going to do here with this shank is heat it up. Then I'm going to melt a hole right here, which is close to where the rope goes into the rope rotor here. And then I'll show you what it's for. So what I'm going to use here is my propane torch. Actually, it's a MAP torch. I'm just going to heat this up till it's red. And just be careful with the toxic fumes that come from melting plastic here. Make sure you are in a ventilated area. So I've melted a hole about the size of the rope, or just slightly bigger here. And I'm just going to let this cool off for a bit. So now what you'll need is a number 4 or a number 4.5 starter rope that is 67 inches long at least. Now before I insert the rope in the recoil, what I will do is heat it up with a propane torch and melt it so that it's not all frayed at the end. Make sure you have gloves on when you do this. And roll it out like this, and do it at the other end as well. And there you go. It's going to go into the recoil a lot easier like this. Okay, now that you have your rope, just run it through the handle here. And I'll make a good knot here. Get it in that hole and pull. And now what you want to do is line up the hole in the rotor to the hole in the recoil here. That's kind of why I locked it in at this position, so that the holes would line up. So you might have to move it a bit here, get your rope in there. And then what you want to do is get it through that little hole. Just like that. Once you get it through there, just grab it with a pair of pliers. Make a knot at the end of this one as well. Now you can take that screwdriver out and let the rope go back in. And that's done. Now the reason for this hole over here is in case your cord was limp like this, then what you would do is grab the rope out, put it in the hole, and tighten up the spring. So what I'm going to do is show you a sample of that. I'm just going to loosen the rope here. Okay, so what I've done is taken off some pressure from the spring to simulate a limp cord like that. So if you had replaced the cord and you notice that the spring is not rewinding the rope enough, this is where the hole that I just made here will come in super handy. So now, because the cord isn't as tight as what it was, I would pull it out like this, line up the hole right over here. Then I would have to retrieve the cord here, the pull cord. And there's not that much space in here to do that. So if you didn't have the hole, it would be extremely hard. Then you would retrieve the cord just like that. Now it's very tight in here, so once you get the cord out, what you want to do is get it in the hole right away, just like that. And then you get some of the cord ahead of the hole. And then what you do is you turn the whole rope rotor with the cord in it like that. And the reason I made the hole is because there's not much space between the rope rotor and the outer casing of the recoil. So now to make the rope tight again, I will go one turn counterclockwise. So what that does is it puts more pressure on the spring, thus making the cord go back in tighter. So once I've turned it one full revolution, it's time to get the cord out of the small hole and just let it go back in. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you the latter part of the video on how to tighten up the spring, just in case you put the rope in and then you notice your cord is not retracting all the way back in. Most of the time you won't have to do this. You can just lock it up like I did, tie the cord, let it go back in, and you're done. Now, one last tip before you put your recoil back on the machine is spray a bit of liquid wrench or WD-40 right in the back here. So by spraying right here, you're lubing up the spring so that the recoil works better, a lot smoother, and it'll prevent rust inside your recoil. So now just get your recoil back on. And I like to spray liquid wrench on all the studs here. It just makes it easier for the nuts to go on, and it prevents a lot of rust. So what I'll do is tighten them up with the impact, but at a very, very low setting, and then I'm going to finish them off by hand with a ratchet and socket. And then I tighten up the recoil in a diagonal pattern. And put the nuts fairly tight. And that's it. Now I'll bring the machine down. And now we have a recoil with the proper rope in there. And it works perfectly. So I hope my video has helped you to fix your machine today. Also check out my other snowblower repair videos. There are hundreds on my channel. Thanks for watching and have a great day.